Azure DevOps is a set of modern services, and we can use these services to plan the work, to create a backlog, or to create work items in our project. Okay, so we can plan our work using the DevOps. We can collaborate within the team, and we can deploy the projects faster. So it provides all the functionalities required for complete life cycle of a project, and we can use these functionalities as per our requirement. So first of all, let us log into Azure DevOps. So this is the URL of Azure DevOps. Okay. So this URL is different from Azure portal. So I'm already logged in. That's why it has redirected me to the dashboard page. So log out. Okay. So this is the page which will appear if you are not logged in. Okay. So click on this, sign into Azure DevOps, and I'm using this login projection underscore ds. Select this one, enter the password. So on the left side, you can see these are the organizations, and currently this one is the selected. Okay, so we can switch between the organizations. If I select this, then I can see the projects in this organization. So there is no project in this organization. So let us select this one. So this is the project which I have created, and you can see we have boards for planning the work. We have repos for code repository, and we have pipelines. Okay, we have test plans for managing the test plans. So these are the services provided by Azure DevOps for a project. So using the boards, we can manage our work. Okay, we can plan, we can create backlog, and we can assign to the team members. Repos is used for the code repository, so we can either use Git or TFS. Okay, and then we have pipeline. So we have two types of pipeline. One is used for compiling the project, that is called build pipeline, and another one is for used for deploying. Another one is used for deploying the build, the published code. So we call it release pipeline. So release pipeline is used for deploying the published code. Okay. We have test plans and we have artifacts. Artifacts are the third-party packages required for the development. Suppose you are using some NuGet package, so those packages are comes under artifacts. So now, what is organization? So organization is used for grouping the projects. So this is the organization. Suppose in your company there are large number of projects, and there are many clients. So you can do one thing, you can create organization according to each client. So suppose if there are five clients, and each client has multiple projects, So you can create organization for each client, and you can assign the projects to each organization. Okay, so in this way you can manage your projects in a better way. So all the projects related to one client can be grouped inside a specific organization. Okay, and when you log in into Azure DevOps for the first time, by default one organization will be created, and that its name will be derived from your email ID. My email ID is logixon_ds. So by default, organization logixon ds is created for me. So this is the default organization. So at least one organization is needed for working with the Azure DevOps, and we can create multiple organizations using this link. Okay, so currently this organization is selected, so you can view its settings using this one, organization settings. Select this one. I have project in this, and click organization settings. Okay, so this is the URL of the organization. So it has organization name inside in the URL. So organization name should be unique. Okay, the name should be unique, and we can delete organization from here, and this will list all the projects which we have in the organization, and we can see the users in organization from here. This is used for the billing. So by default, Azure DevOps is free for 5 users. So if in your company only 5 users are using the Azure DevOps, then it is free, and more than 5 we have to pay. Okay. And one more thing, free tier in Azure DevOps does not include release and build pipelines uh, processing. So you can create the release and build pipeline in the free tier, but the agent for running the build pipeline is not available. So for processing the build pipeline and release pipeline, you must set up for the billing. So click here, new organization, click on continue, continue, and can provide name here like projection 9 org, just any custom name. We need to enter this captcha here. Yes. So this new organization is created. Okay, and we can create a project in this organization. So like test, let's say demo project. So I'm creating this project, and we have two types of visibility, so public and private. So if you are creating a project for your company, then it should be private, because anyone can access the public project. Okay, even for accessing the public project, login is not required. So private is protected, and for your own work or for your complete project, you need to choose this one, private, and click on this create project. So now project is created. So we need to add. So first of all, go to project settings. So this is the visibility. You can change the visibility later. And these are the services. If you want to if you don't want to use boards, then you can disable from here. Okay. So whatever you don't require, like if you don't want to use test plans, then you can disable from here for a particular project. And now you can using this delete button, you can delete the whole project. So when you create a project, by default one team is created, and you can create multiple teams in a project. So team is a group of persons who are working on a project, like developers, QA, product owner. So those all comes in a team. So you can create multiple teams in a project. You can assign permissions. So let us go to project. So before working on this project, I'm going to set up billing for this project. So this Logiction 9 org is selected. So go to organization settings and go to billing. Click on setup billing. So it will use your Azure account. Okay. So I have this Azure account. So it should be a paid account, because for the free tier it will not work. Okay. So this is the paid account. So click on save. So for each organization we have to set up the billing. Now click on this configure user billing. Should authorize. Okay, let us see. So I will do one thing. I have a organization where billing is set up properly. I will go to that organization. This one. So go to organization settings. Go to billing. So billing is working for this because we have parallel jobs. So I have mentioned the parallel jobs. By default, parallel jobs are 0. So this one is working. Go to organization. Create new project. Demo. Demo project. So I'm creating this project. Name is demo project, and I'm inside this organization, and it's private. It is a private project, and it is asking for the version control. So I'm selecting Git. So another option is TFS, and this is the process for managing the work items. So it has CMMI, Scrum, Agile. So I'm selecting this basic one and click on create. So now I want to invite more members in this project. So click on this invite. So this user will receive an email. Okay, so go to repos. Before repos, go to boards. Using the boards, we can manage our work. Okay. So click on boards. Okay, so from here we can manage our tasks. So click on new item. Suppose this is a task for login functionality. So I have added a task. Expand this one. So this task is not assigned to anyone. So click on this unassign, and you can select the user from here, and you can click its title. It will display all the details of this. Okay. Even you can ask some questions to other team members from here. So you can just add the rate, and you will be able to select the user. So, so on a particular task, if you have some query, okay, or if you have some task, some questions with other team members, then you can add those here. So it will be like a history for the communication. Click on this. Now, so its current state is to do. It means we we still need to start work on this. So suppose we have started working on this. It is assigned to this user. So that user will go to boards, and will just do this, drag it for doing. It means we have started the work. Okay, and when work is completed, then it will drag it here, done. So status is automatically updated. Now these are issues. The another one is epic. Epic is a bigger functionality. Like suppose you have to implement a complete membership. Like in membership, we have to add a login functionality, logout functionality, user registration. So the complete module is membership. Okay. So a complete module is called Epic. So click on this new item, membership module. Okay. So we have this Epic. Click here, add issue. Issue will be the individual task like user registration, login functionality, logout. So these will be the tasks like logout implementation. Then we have registration implementation. Okay, so we have one epic, and we have created a task in this module. Okay, now select this drop down, select issues. So now we have issues which belongs to that epic. So inside the issue we have task. So task is the individual work item. Suppose you have to implement logout implementation. So add code to delete session data. Another task will be add code to logout. So we can have multiple subtasks, okay, for a issue. So we have epic, that is like membership implementation. Then we have issues, registration, logout, login, and then we have tasks. Like for registration implementation, add task. Task could be create a table, database table. Okay. So the smallest work is task. So these are the three categories. Okay. So we are done with the planning, and we can also see, the reports. So click on analytics, view full report. So there is just one task which we have completed. Okay. So go to boards, drag this one. So it will have one task in progress and one task completed. Go to analytics again, view full report. Now you can see this blue one is the task in progress, and green one is the done. It is also displaying work item in progress 1. Now go to repos. So this is the path of our Git repository. Okay. So click here, clone a repository. Click here, Azure DevOps. So for this, you need to log in the Visual Studio with your Azure account. I'm already logged in here. So in this organization, projection DS0052, I have created demo project. So there is another test project. So I'm not using that demo project. So now click here a folder that will be used for the project files. Now click on clone. So you can see we have this Git. Git folder here. It is hidden folder. It has the files for tracking the changes in the project. So we have cloned successfully. Now we will add the project. So there is no project here. It is empty. So we will add a project here. So click here, file, new project. So I'm creating ASP.NET Core MVC project. This one, ASP.NET Core Model View Controller. Hit next. So the location will be this one. Copy and rename it to the application one. So select this one, next button. Now I'm using this .NET Core 3.1. So leave it as it is. Configure for HTTPS is not required. Okay. So when I click on this create button, it will try to create a project, but with Azure DevOps, so there is a bug in Visual Studio, so it will fail on clicking of this create, and then I have to create the project again. Okay, so it is failed. So just close it. Close the Visual Studio. ASP.NET. This time it will work. It will create the project. So meanwhile, this project is being initialized. So let us create a app service for deploying this project. Portal. So click on this Azure portal. So this is Azure portal. Okay. So both the applications are different. So we have different application for Azure DevOps, and we have different application for Azure portal. But on both the applications, we have same login. I'm using the same login, and both are linked with the same login. So click on this, create a resource. and click here web app, and have to use this app service for deployment. So this is just a resource group. It is just like a namespace for grouping multiple app services together. And this is the demo project. Name it like 99 is unique. So this should be unique because it will be the part of a URL. Okay. So now we have to select the runtime. So I'm using this one, .NET Core 3.1. So the region is automatically selected. So leave it as it is. Okay. We can change the size. So this one 7 GB memory. It will be some fast. Click on this review plus create. Okay. So it will create in background. So let us go to our project. So this is the project. Now we go to repos here. So it does not have any code. So we need to check in these files in Azure DevOps. So click here git changes. Okay. So add a comment here. Select this one. Commit all and push. So it will commit in a local git and then it will push in Azure DevOps. Let me close this one. Actually, I have made a mistake. I should add a git ignore file. So go to git settings, git repository settings, and click this one, ignore file. So this file will prevent committing the git folder. So that folder is not required. This one, this git folder, we don't need this one to be checked into Azure DevOps. So we have this git ignore. Click on OK. Now go to git changes again. So click here, commit staged and push. Commit staged and push. So now go to DevOps, click on repos. Okay, so .git folder is, I think it's not checked in. Okay, so now you can see the code. So we have our code checked in Azure DevOps. Now we will add a build pipeline for building this project, compiling this project. So click on pipelines, create pipeline. We need to provide its source. So where is our code? So click on this Azure repos git. Take this demo project and select the runtime environment, the ASP.NET Core.NET Framework. Okay, so this is this is the YAML file. Its full form is yet another markup language. So it has instructions for compiling the project. Okay. So you can see it is reading the SLN file. SLN file is solution file. Then it is installing the NuGet packages. After that, it is calling VS build, and it is providing the variable solution which is declared in the previous step. So this YAML file has all the steps for compiling the project, but it does not have the step for publishing the project. So I am adding that step. So this is the step for publishing the project. Now save and run. Save and run. So we have created a build pipeline. So it is queued. Now this pipeline will be processed and it will compile the project and it will publish the project. After that, we will create another pipeline for deploying this build to the app service which we have just created. So this is the app service created. Click on go to resource. This is the URL of our app service. Copy this one. So this is a sample page from Azure. So because we don't have any code in the app service, so we will deploy our code on this URL, and it will display our project here. Okay. It is treating as a free tier, and it is saying that it can't process build pipeline. So for this, we need to enable the billing. So go to the organization, Go to this organization, click on organization settings, go to billing, click on setup billing. So increase this 4, click on save. Okay, it's save. I have already done this. I'm not sure why it is treating the failed here. So click on demo project, go to pipelines, click here, run new, run. Okay, now it starts running. Okay, you can see this progress bar. So the build agent is running now. So it will compile the project and it will publish the project. Okay, so it is successful. It is just giving warning for the test resources because we have not added any test plan. Okay, so it is successful. You can see this. Now we need to automate this. Okay? So we don't need to run this manually. So we need to automate this. So for automating this uh, build pipeline, click here, edit pipeline, click these dots again, click triggers. So we have to mention when it will be triggered and select this one. Okay, so enable continuous integration. Okay, so we are good to go. Click here, save. If you select this one, save and queue, then it will trigger the build again. So just click save. So now if there is any change in the file, if we commit new file, if we change existing file, then build will be triggered because we have just added this one. Okay, so we will see this, and before that we are going to set up a release pipeline. So click here, releases. So release pipeline will pick the published code, okay, from Azure DevOps, and it will deploy to the app service which we have just created. So click on new pipeline. Okay. So it is asking where we are going to deploy. So we are going to deploy Azure App Service. So click apply, close this one. Now we have to provide the path where our published code can be found. So add an artifact. Okay. So this build, it denotes the build pipeline which we have just created. Keep it selected. The project is demo project. Source is demo project. Okay. Default version latest. It means we can have multiple published folders. Okay. So only the latest one will be picked. Okay. There can be multiple published folder. So only it will pick only the latest one and click on add. Okay. So we have mentioned that from the build pipeline we will pick the published code. Okay. Now we need to automate this. So click here. This enabling the trigger will create a new release every time a new build is available. So click here. So now it is enabled. Okay. So whenever build pipeline will be executed, it will compile the project and it will publish the code. After that, this release pipeline will be triggered. Okay. So first of all, build pipeline will be triggered whenever we check in code. Build pipeline will build the project and it will publish the project. After that, release pipeline will proceed. Okay. So this is enabled. Okay. Now click this one job, one task. Now here we have to link our app service. Okay, which we have just created. This is our app service demo project 99. So our project will be deployed here. So currently this is the output. It will be changed. Okay. So this is the Azure account which I have. Select this one. Click on authorize. So we have to log in again. So we have provided the credential of Azure account. So it is authorizing. Okay, done. Now this is asking the type of our app service. So app service, it is for the Windows. It is web app on Windows. App service name. What is the app service name? So this is the app service which we have just created. Demo project 99. Okay, so we are going to link our release pipeline to the app service so that it can deploy the published code to app service. So click on save. So now our release pipeline is ready. Take care. So there is no release. So now we will change something, some files, and commit those files. I'm just adding some comment. So this one file is changed. Add a comment here. Before that, we need to pull the changes. So click this one, pull. So it is fetching the changes from the server. Okay, now commit. So select this one, commit all and push. So it will commit in the local Git repository and then it will push the changes on DevOps server. So go to repos. You can view some history. Why it is failed? Okay, so commit is successful. Commit is like adding some comment. It is successful. So the failed message may be from the pipeline. You go to pipelines. Okay, so this one is failed. You can see just now why it is failed. Again, same problem. So I have linked to the my Azure account. I'm not sure why they are giving this exception. Go to organization settings, click on billing. Click on save. So it is saved. Now commit the file again, adding some more comment. Commit all and push. So it is successfully pushed to DevOps. Now go to here, automation, demo project, pipelines. So this one is scheduled to run. So let us see. Go to repos, history, and see committing new project, and you can see the build pipeline is executing. You can see this adding some more comments. So the change is committed. Now go to pipelines. So it is still executing. So after this build pipeline completes, then release pipeline will be triggered. Okay, so it is sequential. You can see currently there is no release. So after this build pipeline completes, then release pipeline will be triggered, and it will deploy here. So this output will be changed. This will be changed. Okay, so it is successful now. Now the release pipeline. You can see release pipeline is triggered. So currently it is queued. So at now you can see the release pipeline is executing. Click here, stage. So you can see the logs how the release pipeline is working. So build pipeline is you can say build pipeline is doing continuous integration, and release pipeline is doing continuous deployment. So these both are collectively known as CI/CD. Now it is successful. Okay. Now let us see if it is deployed. So refresh this one. So you can see our project is deployed successfully, and click on privacy. Okay. So project is also working. So we have seen how to create organization, how to create project, how to work with the boards, how to work with repositories, how to create pipelines,